Thank you for joining us for another episode of that One Time Podcast. Hope everyone is doing wonderful today. We got a full panel today. Today, joining us is the legendary Dre.
What? We,
What?
what? As he chews on whatever he's chewing on over there, we have the one and only Boom Pow Surprise.
Cheryl.
And last but not least, we have Solid Snarf.
Buenos dias y noche.
And I'm your host today, Sir Maestro Griff. So, thank you for joining us again, everybody. And today we got some gaming news this week. We had a lot, actually. Not just gaming news, just news around in general. So, I guess first we can talk about Sony's had a big week today. They dropping their VRR patch, so their consoles will have that. It'll put them on equal footing with Xbox. What the hotness game out right now is Elden Ring. Everybody talking about it. Everybody talking about it. Um, I think performance-wise, playing it right now, visually the best on Xbox because of the frames that VR provides them. So now Sony gets that, it puts them kind of on equal footing there. But going further past that, Sony been on a buying spree. We know they got all their studios. Probably the most well-known studio is Insomniac, as well, if you want to call them the Marvel Sony studio, because they're making all the Marvel games for Sony.
Spider-Man, Wolverine.
Yeah, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and it's funny. A lot of studios struggle. Well, they're working on the game, and sometimes they might work on two, overlapping two at the same time. But it seemed like Insomniac working on three all at once. They've got the Spider-Man 2 game, which they announced. I don't know how many months ago that was, but they're working on that. Then they
4 months
announced,
ago.
yeah. Then the same time that matter of fact on that same announcement, they said we're working on Wolverine, right? And recently they just announced they're working on a multiplayer game project for Sony. So that's three games they're all working on at once. And it's like you gotta wonder, most studios struggle working on one or even two, and they got three. And knowing their track record, they're probably most likely doing something Marvel related. They got to be because I think on their job listing they had that they're looking for a not a content creator. They're looking for a person to manage a storyboard for the multiplayer game. And if it was something under Sony's IP, they wouldn't need somebody to do that. They would already have that under control. So, the reason I bring that up, if it's a multiplayer Marvel game, what would you like to see?
Hmm.
We know we got Spider-Man from them. We know we're getting Wolverine. What else logically could you think could be from Marvel that would be a multiplayer game? What would you like to see?
I got. All right. All right. I'll give you one thing that I really want to see, and
Okay.
at the same time, I don't want to see it.
All right.
All
What you
right.
got?
I want a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game, but I also don't really want a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game. Because, like, I remember playing it and having a lot of fun with it,
Mhm.
but that was. I was playing it alone, so I guess online it'll be cool, but it's just. Do I want another beat 'em up? I don't know.
I guess what you're saying. I don't like. Oh, well, I guess I mean they're a very talented studio, obviously. I mean, but they do Ratchet and Clank, right? And Insomniac.
Yeah.
So they, I'm trying to go. I'm trying to think of the history. So Insomniac has done Ratchet and Clank. Did they do Sly Cooper as well?
Let's see. I'm not sure.
They
I know.
did what's the weird monster looking one, I think.
Is that the
Oddworld.
shooter Resistance? No, they didn't do Resistance, did they?
Oddworld, I think is what it's called.
Oddworld? They did Oddworld? I can't remember. I know Spider-Man. Well, I know Wolverine. I know Ratchet and Clank, and I'm trying to think what else they've done. And so I'm like, I
They did
want to say
Spyro.
Resist.
They did Ratchet and Clank, Sunset
Oh, they did
Overdrive,
Spyro
Resistance.
and Resistance. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So they did do Oddworld.
no, they did
I don't see
Resistance.
how I don't see Outworld here.
So boom, Insomniac working on the multiplayer, m- assuming the multiplayer
Probably
Marvel game.
Marvel.
Yeah, yeah, most likely Marvel. What would you like to see if it's a multiplayer Marvel game?
Multi. Spider.
Uh-oh, he's on mute.
You're muted.
Yeah, you couldn't hear me.
There we go.
I don't have much faith in Marvel multiplayer games, as
I can understand
you guys
that.
already know. Because I mean, honestly, so I'm gonna be real with you. Every single Marvel multiplayer game they've ever come out with has been shit, except for Marvel Omega, and that game was amazing. And what did they do? They deaded it because
No,
Disney and Marvel and Sony were in the middle of a whole license battle. It was like the best game ever, and they fucking deaded that shit. That's why Drake's shaking his head because he loved that damn game.
He got you see
still
the
got
joy that
videos on.
sucked out of Dre's
Yeah.
face.
It got to the point
Still
where
got video.
everybody was just getting into it, and it was an amazing game. It was an absolute. It was everything everybody wanted, and then they literally had to cut it off.
And
So
The Disney machine.
personally, me, and I mean this, I can only speak for myself. I just don't have a high bar for Marvel games
Mhm.
because the appeal, like visually, looks great, but it's just never held. It's never had, the peanut butter. It just never sticks to your ribs. It
Gotcha,
just
gotcha.
doesn't. It's very cookie cutter. It's like they make a game that is better made by someone else, but they slap Marvel on it. So it's just like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah. If there's one studio that can change that, I will put my faith in Insomniac. So far, they haven't missed. They got a good record, but I
Yeah,
mean, w-
because they always make the same type of multiplayer game, and it's like a Diablo-esque game. And it's like, do you want to play Diablo or do you want to play Diablo but with Marvel? I'd
that's what
rather
I was
just play
saying.
Diablo.
Ultimate Alliance. Yeah.
yeah,
And
they
they made
need to
like
get away
three
from that.
Ultimate Alliances, and it's just like, stop,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
X-Men Legends was the shit, and then they went to Ultimate Alliance. I think the first two of those are good, and after that, it went downhill. It
Dare
went
I say the
downhill.
best Marvel game they ever made, the best Marvel multiplayer game they ever made, Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
could say that.
you want me to play it? Make that shit again. Take me for a ride,
MVC
please.
1, 2, and 3.
All right,
Yeah.
Thank you
take me
for a
for a
ride.
ride. Yes,
What'd you think, Dre? What'd you think? You got a pie in the sky idea? What'd you think?
they got a mouthful of food. Is what you got.
No, because I'm waiting on the DCUO creators to finish their Marvel game.
I do want
That's
to see
right.
that. I'm not
That's
gonna lie.
right. I
I
forgot
do
about
want to see that.
I
I do
forgot
want to see
about
that.
that. That is gonna be an interesting project. I wonder if that's what they could be. Did they ever say what studio was working on for that?
Never did. The devs we know, but not the
Mm.
studio.
Oh, we do know the devs. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
could that be Insomniac's game? All right. But going past that, Sony is pushing for PC ports of all their games. They've slowly been testing waters on that one. What was the last one they put out? God of War, right?
God of
Was
War.
it? Mhm.
It was amazing.
And they said they have Uncharted Legacy Edition coming out. I think that's Uncharted 1, 2. No, is it 1, 2, 4, and the whatever the one was on the Vita or PSP. And so now they said they want to slowly push out all their games to PC. They even created a new division of Sony PC ports. So they're going to be moving all their games to PC. Probably not day and day release, but you probably see about 4 or 5 months, 6 months
Yeah.
after.
Probably.
So
I'm thinking more of a year, but it's like the timed exclusive shit.
right.
You know.
So what do you think makes more sense for them? So if they're gonna be pushing PC ports, do you think they should just put it out on existing storefronts like Steam? What else is out there? What's the not Ubisoft one?
Epic.
Yeah,
Um.
Epic, Steam,
See,
Epic.
if they were smart, they would end up creating their own PC store.
You think so? Their
But do
own
they have
storefront?
the infrastructure to do that? Probably not.
Mm. I gotta wonder. So they come out with that new tiers of PS Plus service, and they're gonna put that on PC. So I wonder, are they gonna like make it a subscription to where you just
Everything from PS Plus that you cannot already download is going to be cloud based, and I'm hesitant to see what that's going to be like because it's cloud based. The
Right.
right?
implementation of cloud based so far with Sony has not been impressive. So this is their chance. This Sony. This is your chance to not be a EA.
But you got to put the best foot forward because if you mess up,
You got to. You got to.
it's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But they
Exactly.
haven't
This is
announced any upgrades to their. You know, they're releasing the same
same platform.
online, same
They're just
platform.
they're just consolidating it.
rebranded it. Say, hey, here's the same new thing. Wait, wait, wait.
Yeah, they haven't announced
So,
any plans on updating. Like they've been doing some buying over the past 2 years that have been, hinting towards it, but nothing solid. So it's like it's gonna be
Honestly,
trash when it comes out.
so, so for me, what leaves me feeling like it's not really going to have any quality of life changes or anything that's going to be substantially different are things like the breadcrumbs that Sony leaves, and by that, the other things that they're working on, which we haven't seen substantiated. Like we're almost a year and a half in to this solidified partnership with them and Discord, and all we've gotten so far is
shiny
Boom Pow
badge.
Surprise is playing Destiny 2 right now. That's it.
Right.
That pissed me
That,
off
that
because I was expecting
that's it.
something different.
That's
Yeah.
it. Like that's it. That's all we're getting. Like, is
I
there more we just don't know about it, or is that
I
it?
would
Because if
have
that's
to hope
it,
so. Because didn't they pay like how much did they pay for that partnership? They put down some good piece of money for that.
so I mean,
I
things like
kind of
things
hope it's
like
got to
that
do.
just make me question what is Sony's focus right now?
Oh,
Because
you
like
know
Sony
what?
does great things. Sony does
Mhm.
great things, but it's just like you go out of your way to say, "Hey, we're doing this. Hey, we're doing that," and then half of your implementation just falls the fuck apart. So it's just like, where's
You,
your focus?
you know
Like,
what?
give me a timeline. You know,
You,
if this is something that's coming, that's fine. But give me something
you
to
might
hold
be
me
onto
on.
something since they created a new PC division and they started that partnership with Discord. You may be on something. They may create their own storefront or a portal that you have to go through to use their subscription service on PC. Because then that would make sense that you did a partnership with Discord. You're like, look, you ain't got to worry about using PSN chat on PC. You got Discord. We got a
It'd
partnership
be
with them for that.
nice. It'd be
That would
nice.
make sense. But
It would because again, it would be nice.
exactly. But
But
of
until
course,
we see it,
It's
there's
all
only so much we can
speculation.
really exactly. There's only so much we
I
can
Without
definitely
converse about, so
say
much we can speculate
out of
about.
the
So
three big companies, Microsoft does the best at giving you like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And, we're on our way to doing this. They're very good at announcing that and putting out their ideas out front. Sony's very quiet and then they just
Sony's
drop
never been that.
stuff. Yeah,
Sony's
Sony's
never
never
been
been
that.
that. They're very quiet and they just drop stuff and it creates a lot of hype. And then you have Nintendo. They're the worst. they,
Nintendo, Microsoft is like, hey, this is what we got going on. Sony's just like, we about to drop some shit. Nintendo, fuck you.
right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how that goes.
Nintendo
so
like,
with
this what you wanted? We're not going to
Microsoft
do
and
that and we're going to charge you for it. Here you go.
so
Pretty
with
much.
Microsoft and on PC, like they just got the games. It's not no cohesive environment like PC talking to Xbox,
Oh, yeah.
Xbox talking
There's
to PC.
they got the Xbox app. You can talk to people on Xbox.
Yes, they have
This
the
is
Game
very
Bar
good.
app.
So like
Okay, so it makes sense with the whole Discord and yeah, so
Here's how
Sony can do
much.
that. Sony can do that. PlayStation talk to PC, PlayStation use Discord. Boom. Here's your
Here's how
communication.
integrated Microsoft is into any game that people don't even realize. You have a Windows computer right now, right?
yep.
You have
Mm-hmm.
the Windows button on your computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can literally push Windows G and it pulls up Game Bar, which is literally connected to your Xbox game chat.
Which I need to sign up for my free subscription.
I didn't know this until like last month. And so like all my friends that I play with on the Xbox that play Destiny, if all of them are in the chat, I can just join the chat now.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Sony. Do it. Just make it simple for yourself. Discord is your way through. That's
Mm.
all you got to do. That's all you got to do. And then, well, going
Keep
on forward
doing
from that,
something new.
so Sony is working on their weakness. For the longest time, their multiplayer games have been their biggest weakness. Sony's always been good at knocking out the single player storytelling games. They are untouched in that regard. Xbox cannot touch them on that. So now they're working on a whole bunch of multiplayer games. A lot of their studios are all working on multiplayer games. I think they got the one for Deviation Studios, the makers of Call of Duty and Rainbow Six team. They got them working on a game. They got Factions, which is the Last of Us multiplayer. They got that working on the game. Of course, we know they brought Bungie, the multiplayer experts. So they got them on board. You have Insomniac working on a multiplayer game. And I think there's like 6 other developers they got underneath the belt working on multiplayer games. They're really pushing free to play games, I guess, because they plan on putting that behind their PlayStation service to entice people to join up to play these games.
Or just throw a bunch of microtransactions.
Right.
Yeah.
But now they announced that Microsoft and Sony they are want to do advertising in games, and Sony plans on putting these advertising in their free to play games. So
Well,
far,
I
well,
think
yeah.
I think what came out was somebody from Sony was like, yeah, it's interesting. We should experiment with that. I think it wasn't like this is coming out definitely. I think they just they put their toe in the water, watch everybody on Twitter and Reddit scream at them, and then we'll see what the response is. And it's just, nah, we were just talking about it. We weren't actually going to do it.
nah, Sony gonna look at it to make some money. They gonna do that. They're definitely gonna do it. But I think they said Microsoft they want to implement it by selling it. So they have a private port. Microsoft wants to sell it privately so the developers can profit. No, they don't want the developers to profit off it. They just no, yeah, they Microsoft wants the developers to profit off it individually.
Microsoft would
Sony,
want it private, but Sony would want it open source.
yes, Sony wants it open where the money isn't necessarily just going to developers, it's going to the whole Sony bank account, pretty much.
Right.
And therein lies the difference that Microsoft wants the studios to make money off of it. Sony's just like, nah, we want a profit off it. So pretty much Sony's like, y'all gonna have to pay us to put your advertising on this game. Microsoft's like, we don't need the money, but the developers do. So y'all put the money in their pocket. Then y'all they can see fit how they want to implement it. So I guess that's the major differences.
I
And
mean,
how do y'all
well,
feel about advertising this game? Because actually, there's already some in like Fortnite advertisements all in there.
yeah.
People don't even realize it, but there's advertisements all in there. How do y'all feel about it?
Or
I
if I
don't like
paid,
it
yeah.
unless I don't see it. I don't like it unless I don't see it. Or it's not throwing in my face like 2K. Here's a billboard of Mountain Dew.
I mean, I think it works in 2K just because 2K is going to be an advertisement magnet. Like you kind of like with sports is different. Sports is a little bit different because it's kind of like it's an expected element of that realm, right? As where with other games, that's kind of you're dipping a toe in a new realm, and I would say with free to play games it makes sense. With free to play games and free to play players, it makes sense, right?
1.25.
Because it's an element of pressure they're going to use for you to buy stuff.
Yeah.
And think of it in terms like this, like Twitch. You can go and you can watch somebody on Twitch, and you don't have to pay anything, right? And say you're really in depth watching your favorite streamer, and next thing you know, you're slapped in the face with a 30-second ad.
Right.
Oh, this is really inconvenient. I really wish I didn't have to do this. Well, you could subscribe for $5 a month, and you got to worry about this big ass ad,
Right. Right.
or you could just deal with the ad.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like ads.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't like ads.
I'm personally not against ads at all. It's like sometimes I would find them very useful. Like, oh, I didn't know that existed. That's a pretty nice product. I'll look into it.
You say that until you have to deal with them.
Yeah.
Wanna
Now I
go?
don't like it when they're smacking your face. If they interrupt my experience, I do not like that.
So
Like you just described. I do not like when a video passes up like they do in the mobile gaming. Hey, watch this video to get some free coins to continue doing this. I do not like that. I do not like that at all. I do not want ads in my gaming at all if they're like that.
put them free coins though.
Right.
Put
Want to
them
If
hear
free
it?
it's like,
coins though.
Want to hear a tinfoil hat take?
go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
Hit us with it.
Ads are a form of psychological manipulation. And if you put an ad in front of me, you are trying to brainwash me into buying something I don't need. You are mind controlling me. Okay?
Oh, man.
I take that personally.
I mean, I was just gonna say, you know, you gotta watch out for Nolan Sorrento. Alright. You're opening up a huge
Nah.
can of worms.
Yeah. Tinfoil hat for sure. But it's like, I don't know. Maybe I take it more personally than I should, but it's like if you're trying to give me ads on something I paid for so I can buy something else.
That's where it gets scary.
piss
If
me
it's
off.
something that I'm paying for, I don't want to see ads in it.
Yeah.
If it's
If
something
it's
I'm paying for, I don't want to see ads. If
if
it's
it's
something where it's free to play,
$60 and up, no ads belong in that game. If it's $35 or less,
No, if
okay,
I'm paying for it, I don't want to see an ad.
Yeah.
sure. Like I said, I'm fine with it the way 2K
Especially if
does.
there's a game and it has an element of a subscription base to it.
Mhm.
If I'm paying that subscription in any form, I don't want to see
Sure,
an ad.
sure.
I'm
What
already
I can
paying for
see
the
that.
game.
what always happens, right? When you're watching a Twitch stream, right, on your phone, the bit rate on the Twitch stream gets foggy, and you have to lower the quality, and then the ads pop up. They're for full 4K, 60 frames per second. It's like on the
I was wondering that.
background. It's
I was wondering how is it that ads pop when you ain't got no signal, but you can't watch the goddamn stream?
because that's the way they do it. All right,
They
they
pay for
put
that
more. They
space.
prioritize it. The ads look better than the damn stream.
Mhm.
This is
I
why.
was
This,
If they're
So,
on billboards in games, I don't mind that. I just don't need them like. And
but
if they're,
like,
hey, buy this shirt in game that's a Mountain Dew design, I don't mind that because
I,
I'm not gonna buy it. But
I guess like point being is what type of performance is going? Are you giving up performance to put those ads in? Is it going to affect the game?
right,
Like, is it going to slow
right,
the game when you upload a new ad to a billboard? Or like, why am I even online if I'm playing a single player game?
right. And
this
something
facts.
else,
This
ads
facts.
got to make sense for the games. If I'm playing a shooter, I should not be getting a Mr. Clean ad or hey, you buy this Mr. Clean skin for a gun. That makes no sense. That makes zero
Yo,
sense.
I can see a future where you're playing like the new Grand Theft Auto. You walk into a store, there's a bounty sign. You go up to it, you press triangle on it. It brings up your Amazon account, puts it in your cart, says, "Do you want to buy towels? Are you out of towels?"
That's real shit though.
That would have
That's
came in
real
handy with
shit.
toilet paper.
They've already. I
Yeah.
mean, when you think about the ease of access, just to buy stuff on the virtual store for PlayStation and Xbox,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
scary. Yeah.
it's gonna get to a point where it says, connect your Amazon account,
I
connect your
got
Walmart account, connect your Target account.
GTA makes a lot of sense or something like that. Snarf. Not the guy so far as going to put your Amazon card in, but like you go into like one of the convenience stores in there and it has like a soda and it's actually like a soda in real life. That makes sense. But like I said, Call of Duty, Fortnite makes sense because they've always established their cartooniness and wackiness. So it makes sense there. What Call of Duty's been doing with their advertisements, they've been going crazy. Like Attack on Titan and Modern War Call of Duty, that makes zero sense.
With that
the
being said, be careful if you guys do have those buying services on your phone. I actually had somebody try to hack my account. They try to get something sent to themselves from my Walmart account. Yeah, shit was crazy. Try to order a grill
Wow.
for like $300.
Not even
Jeez.
invite you over for the cookout.
Bro,
Right.
a
uh,
children's book and a grill. That was exactly what they tried to buy. Yeah.
maybe they're
Mm,
just testing the waters
mm,
before they put the plasma on the card.
mm.
So uh, this is relevant. I just got a Quest VR, the Facebook VR system. The setup process is a little
Intrusive.
invasive,
Mm-hmm.
right? I felt it. You gotta link your Facebook account, your real Facebook account.
And be
You
a
gotta
fake one.
link your credit card. You gotta link or PayPal, whatever. Um, you have to link your phone up. Like you have to download the app to your phone, and you have to have your phone linked to the app. I have not used my phone once to play any VR games, and all it is, it's a marketplace for your phone, so you can buy games on your phone. And when you have the VR headset, you're in this area to start up and choose your games and stuff. The store is like so super easy to access. Like I've never had an experience where it was so easy to get to something to buy
Mhm.
in
Well,
gaming.
that's by design,
Soon it's
like
gonna
you
be
said.
metaverse.
Yeah, it was off putting, to say the
They
least.
want
Like the first couple of days, it was like, what am
Yeah, I
are
mean,
you?
they wanted
Are your
that easy
hands
for you to just
literally in
buy
my
stuff.
pockets? Like, how
Yeah,
do my
it
buns feel? What are you doing? Stop feeling me up.
exactly
I
like,
don't
hey, you
like
got
it.
you got nice buns, but while I'm here, I'm just gonna hold on to your card and you just tell me when you want me to swipe it.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
it's like, there's like multi-factor authorization to buy
Mhm.
stuff on PlayStation and all that.
Right.
It's just it's it's a pin and it's so easy. It's point click. I bought 2 games, right? And I'm like, it was kind of like eating chips. The experience was
You
kind of
want
like
some
eating
more?
chips. Like I could have easily just had more. I could have just easily had more. Like if I didn't have any sense,
Yeah,
I
if you
could have
didn't have
ran
any
up.
self control, you would just ran through all your money.
Yeah.
You
uh,
know what's crazy, Snarf, about that? So pretty soon you're probably gonna turn it on. You're gonna be loaded into Facebook's metaverse or their VR world, and then they're gonna link that straight into that. But you know what's crazy? How everybody's talking about the metaverse? It's like, do y'all not remember PlayStation Home?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember PlayStation Home.
Do you not remember that? Like they could easily bring that back for their VR headset, and it looks
Here's my thing with
home was
here's my
actually
thing with the
pretty fun.
metaverse. Here's my thing with the
Yeah,
metaverse.
I'm
There's a lot of people who are putting a lot of real estate into the metaverse, and rightfully so, because people are gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Like the power of influence is absolutely ridiculous because the metaverse only has power if we give it power.
Well,
Yep.
It's
like
gonna be like another Twitch, but virtual reality.
yeah.
I mean,
The,
not
No,
Twitch,
I,
Twitter.
I forget what store it was.
Advertisements galore.
I think it was a chain store like Walmart. I don't know if it was actually Walmart, but they have a full virtual store in the metaverse that you can buy stuff on. You put it in your shopping cart like you're actually shopping. It's like that's exactly like the you find a bounty sign on your you can shop now in VR or
Think about it.
so
soon.
so and see this is the stuff that makes no sense to me. I can virtually shop right now on my phone and order things in a sense of my house, right?
Right.
That's kind of e-commerce essentially, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So help me understand what is the point of going into virtual reality? I just let me finish, of going into virtual reality and then virtually going and walking through a store to virtually put things in your cart, virtually walk to the line that you then have to virtually stand in and virtually walk to the front of the line until you can virtually take your virtual things, put them on the virtual conveyor belt, and virtually purchase them. And then, follow up question: do you actually get this fucking shit in real life, or
Yeah.
did you just virtually buy some shit that can
No.
go in your virtual house?
Depends on
They
what you buying.
yeah you can go to like an actual real virtual store and they'll deliver all the goods to you later on.
So what the fuck is a real virtual store?
Eh,
I'm not
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
at you.
no,
I'm
it's
just
like
confused.
They have a virtual Walmart. I don't know if it's Walmart, but it's one of those type of stores or Target, whatever. And you walk down the aisles, you pick it up, put it in your cart, you check out. It's exactly like putting your shit on Amazon. You put that and they deliver it to you.
And the
So
purpose of that,
what's the
so you
point?
can do it with friends.
The purpose,
So why not just go to the real
the
fucking
purpose,
store?
the
Effort.
purpose is now you've turned shopping into a game.
Hmm.
Who the hell wants to go shopping as
No,
a
no, 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 no.
game?
Nobody wants it. The people selling you
It,
the shit wants you to have it.
it's something you didn't know you
Yeah.
needed until it's
So
there.
what you telling me? This is like me going to the mall and the motherfucker's like, "Hey, you want a free Cinnabon?" I'm just like, "Nah, I'm good." And he's just like, "Why the fuck would you not want it free?" Because I don't want it.
It's
Like that
the same
concept.
argument you're using. It's the same argument that probably people before us. Why you want to do it from your phone? When you can just go in the store and pick it up.
So I'm gonna be real with you. This is the same concept of why I have with people who role play on Grand Theft Auto, and not like the people who do the crazy outlandish shit. That shit's fun. You want to go do hood rat shit with your friends. I get that. I'm talking about the people who go role play and open up a storefront and then be in their storefront on the game for hours working.
Can I be real with you real quick? Can I be real with you real quick?
I'm listening.
You could have your dream job of handing out hot dogs in a hot dog stand, but you can't actually go out and do that in real life.
So you out here handing out these imaginary virtual glizzies and shit.
Yeah. Please
And
don't
you
call them
ain't
that.
really
Please
getting
don't call
any
them that.
actual fucking
I
money.
hate it. Um,
I don't think I ever eat a hot dog again.
look,
I mean, that's what the kids call them these days. They call them glizzies.
No,
That's what
no,
they
they
call 'em.
don't. Stop it.
Stop.
Any child of mine, I call it out. Stop it.
Look, don't get
Don't-
mad at me because I'm
Shut
trying
it
to be
down.
current.
Don't
all
say
right?
moist. Don't say glizzies.
Y'all are
please.
literally here trying to sell me on the viability of being in a virtual world. But glizzy upsets you.
I'm not trying to
Got
sell
it.
you. I'm just
Got
saying
it.
what the tactic is. The
Oh my
tactic is
gosh.
they want to separate monetary cash in your hand and put it into the virtual world so you're not paying attention to what you're spending. You spend more. That's the problem with credit cards. You're not counting out real money. You tend to overspend more with credit cards. If you have a game out of a virtual store, the dopamine levels go crazy because you're doing things and you've made a game out of it. Now you're
It's so
overspending.
instant access, yeah. It's so easy to buy. So it's just like, oh, well, I can get that and I can get this and I can instantly play
Because
it.
I don't know if you have this. I have friends that if Amazon didn't
Is that a,
exist, they would be
is
fine.
that a shot?
But they,
Is that a shot? Did you just say, I don't know about you, but I have friends? Was that your statement?
I
'Cause
don't know about you,
I
but I have
thought we were
friends
friends.
that do this thing. All right, all right.
Okay.
You have friends. I'm your friend, boo.
That's-
We're here for you.
Thought I was getting shot in the chest for a second. I was about to say, damn.
All right.
What did I do to deserve this?
So I don't know about you, but I have friends that if Amazon didn't exist, they wouldn't have a shopping problem. But if you go step into like wherever they get their mail delivered, it's Amazon box, Amazon box, Amazon box, Amazon box, Amazon box, because they can just put that shit in their phone, and they're buying shit that they don't even need.
No, that makes sense.
I know
That makes sense.
I have friends that have that problem. But
And that's what these
Is it-
companies are trying to
yeah.
capitalize on. Yeah.
so yeah, there's some nefariousness behind it because they have your data, they're studying you, tinfoil hat. All right. But yeah, it's weird, but I have to say Beat Saber, I haven't had that easy of a workout in a long time. Like I was sweating and the time went by. I did a full hour of cardio
Didn't even know it.
and didn't even know it, and I was like,
The beauty of gaming.
yeah. You see, when you can work out for an hour and you don't
feel
even
like
know
you
it,
have to-
you've turned it into a game. Like that's just proof of concept that if you do that to shopping, if you turn anything into a game, you get reckless. You could overdo.
Speaking the last bit of places you speaking of a game, Ragnarok 2 officially coming this year. They've stamped it, said it's coming out this year. Didn't put a date on it, but they said it's definitely coming this year. So knowing that, do you think, because right now we all know Elden Ring is the game of the year, do you think it tops Elden Ring?
There's all right, so let's break down what everything you just said, Griff. We just put a stamp on it. It's coming out this year, but we don't have a date. Now, let's just stop right there. There have been a lot of games in the past 2 years that have said,
Very
"Hey,
true.
this is the date they're coming out," and they don't make that. So
Sure.
we
Hey,
don't
I'll
even
just
have a
say
date. We don't
the
even have a
head
date.
developer, he said, "Don't worry, it's coming this year." But
I
he didn't
hear
give a
you,
date.
Griff, and
Yeah.
I'm not even questioning you because you're not the one who said it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they didn't give us a date, so that's
Yeah.
one. That's one. Two. Let me not forget my point. So reverberate your statement, and I'm going to remember my second point.
Okay, he said Ragnarok 2 is coming this year. They put a stamp on it, but they did not give us a date. Do you think it can top Elden Ring for Game of the Year?
Okay, second point. We haven't played it yet.
Facts.
So
Facts.
I'm not personally anticipation in video games don't go in the same category for me. That's a recipe for disaster.
Very
And
much
I
so.
refuse to anticipate on any video game that has not yet come out. Personally, because I've been bit in the ass so many times.
So man.
I
So
could-
many
I could-
times.
So-
We have sat here and talked about
Don't do it.
so many
Don't do
different
it.
games.
I don't want to hear anything that starts with an A. I don't want to hear.
I
Don't even
I
let it come out
wouldn't
of your
say
mouth.
anything that starts with an A, and I won't even say anything that starts with a B either.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't do it.
why'd you
Uh,
remind me? I forgot about it.
Okay? We've all been bitten so many times. So anticipation and games, they're not friends for me.
All right, so let me rephrase. If it's more of the same of what God of War was, do you think that could top Elden Ring? Is it
So
enough?
you're
If it's
asking the
like
same question a different way.
no, so if
And
it's like say if
and
it's
even
just like
even
rank.
though this way is a more easier way to answer the question, I refuse to answer it. With that being said, if we
Okay.
took let's say God of War came out on PS5. The God of War we had now came out on PS5 with PS5 graphics. Do we think that God of War could
Top
compete
Elden.
against Elden Ring? Now, if you're asking that question, I can answer that.
Yeah, what would you think? Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's hard to say. And the reason why I say it's hard to say is because I would reformat that question and say, do you think Horizon Forbidden West can compete against Elden Ring? If your answer to that is no, I can't necessarily say God of War can or cannot.
God of War's a more heavy hitter than Forbidden West though.
Well,
That's the
that's
only
only
thing.
because it's been more substantiated. So that's not
True.
necessarily fair.
True.
God of
True.
War has been a thing for the better part of almost 2 decades.
God of War is Sony's cream of the crop right now. It
Exactly.
really is. Yeah, it's their top dog, which is funny because it wasn't always that,
Because like
but it
even
has
with that
become
being
that.
said, Horizon Forbidden West is going to be a candidate for Game of the Year,
Oh yeah, it
whether
is,
they win or not.
and that's the crazy thing. It's an amazing game. It's an absolute amazing game. It's just it unfortunately came out the same month as Elden Ring, and Elden
Can't
Ring.
even really say unfortunately because it's going to win an award. One,
Yeah,
it's going to win an award.
True.
Two,
True.
they're not the same type of game. Even though they're being compared to each other, they're not necessarily the same type of game.
I guess
They'll be lumped into the same category, open world,
what's it called?
but
Aloy. What's the name?
yeah,
Forbidden
Aloy.
Aloys are
West.
main.
Aloy.
Yeah, Forbidden West is a
Yeah,
lot more
Character
accessible.
driven.
storytelling. It's a lot more storytelling involved. As where I feel like Elden Ring's a lot more action.
And it's crazy because Forbidden West is more closely to Breath of the Wild than Elden Ring, but Elden Ring constantly gets compared to Breath of the Wild, which is
Because
Is it a
fun,
visual
funny
thing?
enough.
it's not a visual
No,
thing.
it's
It's just
Is it a
like
utility thing?
it's
it's
a
A
exploration thing.
synergy thing?
it's
Exploration.
Elden Ring comparative to other open world games does a lot. There's less
Oh,
find the tower, go up here. Find that tower, go up here. Like redundancy.
Not as linear. It's not as linear.
It's definitely not as linear. It breaks new ground, whereas in like the natural progression of open world should. So it's like it's not linear. You can do a lot of things. Like yeah, you're under level for a lot of places that you can go, but you might end up there anyway. They don't handhold you. They don't hold your hand, so it's like you're on your own. And the difficulty of Souls like game, but it's the
that
most
was
accessible Souls like game to most
in a long
people. Like
time.
for a lot of people, it'll be their first Souls like game that they play.
Right.
And it doesn't necessarily do anything new. It just perfects everything that's been done before it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, um, I would like yeah you could compare the two, but it's like
You could, but
Is it fair and is it right?
yeah,
The only reason they should get compared is for Game of the Year. And I'm telling you now, right now, Elden Ring walking away with it right now. The Elden Ring came ring. Damn, it's throwing everybody for the top row.
like
Elden
I'm
Ring
just gonna be
clearing
real with you.
house.
I don't see anything competing with Elden Ring, like as an actual winner. We'll have great I think it's gonna be a great class as far as candidates, but
Yeah.
Elden Ring is like
yeah,
every so often you have a generational breakthrough when it comes to a video game. Like Breath of the Wild was a generational
yeah.
breakthrough.
And then every game copied it. Genshin
Exactly.
Impact, and then they had the Ubisoft one.
Exactly. Elden Ring's like that next step in progression.
Mhm.
But
So
I don't
as
think
where
anybody has the nerve to copy because it's like they put a
it's
lot of
just that
work into
good.
it. A
It's
lot of
that
work
good.
into it.
If you don't come
And
correct, you
so where
Mhm.
I think that God of War is going to be a great game, I don't think God of War is going to be a generational progression.
It's gonna
One is
And
the
be
so
God
sequel.
of War
One is the
2.
sequel.
it's
Yeah,
going to
it's
be
the sequel.
more of what we've already had. It's going to be great, but it's just going to be more of what we've already had.
Just
Mhm.
like
And that's not always a bad thing, and
yeah,
it's not always a good thing either.
that's
Yeah, no,
what
no. Yeah,
Horizon
I don't think
is.
it's
Yeah.
Horizon is more
exactly.
Horizon.
It's more
A
Horizon. It's
lot
it's got
more.
some quality of life, and it looks absolutely even more better than it already did. And it's just a continuation of what we already had, but better. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's what God of War is going to be. But but Elden Ring was like built from the ground up, and they took their time, and that thing is mind blowing. This is what happens when you give a complete game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. That just
This
Yeah.
is what happens when you create an entire game
Bless
and
you.
you take your time and you give like you don't trail off at the end and say, we'll just wrap it up with some shit and push it out the door. No, this is a complete game. This is what
Oh,
a
dude.
complete game looks
Excuse
like,
me.
All right.
right?
As somebody who has 400 hours in the game, I'll tell you what pisses me off: the the way the story is. All right, that's like that
I could
pisses me off.
understand that. I
Um,
could understand.
but that doesn't diminish anything you've said. But I'll
Right.
just say it is a complete package, but also
It's not perfect. It
Yeah,
has
what
nothing is perfect, but
yeah.
this is probably the closest thing to perfection we're gonna get in a
Yeah.
while.
Speaking of, you said things. You said that you or that are fucking up, Snarf. OBS, Dre. What is OBS doing right now?
What is it not doing?
I don't know because
They
I
ain't
keep
doing
on.
things right. So right now with OBS, a lot of streamers are having like issues and they're thinking it's like their internet and it's not. For some reason, we don't know when it happened, why it happened, but OBS is just dropping frames, lagging out, crashing. People have to stop their streams, start it over, watch it crash again. It's so frustrating. People just want to throw their whole PCs out and
OBS
burn
is
it. And it's not even a PC.
OBS is open source, right? It's free, right?
Yeah.
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 Now I wonder, people who worked on that, did anybody recently get hired to a rival company by chance?
Ah, I don't know nothing about
Sabotage,
that.
maybe?
I don't think
Sabotage, maybe?
anybody went in deep detail about that.
I mean,
Sabotage, maybe?
the types of problems it's also having is like the drop frames and stuff. It could also be on Twitch's end, whatever server they're doing, because like specifically, it's a drop frame problem, right?
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
it could also be the server you're connecting to. But it's like it's weird, and this is all like anecdotal. This is just from us because we have a bunch of streamer friends, and it's like they all are having the same exact problem, and it
Which is very
seemed
And
to
the
happen
common
coincidental.
around the last update.
core is OBS, Twitch, and it's like people I know that y'all don't know, and vice versa. People y'all know that I don't know who use OBS is having these issues. So it's like, okay, it's either Twitch or OBS. It's
Yeah,
one of
Might
the
be a little
two.
bit of both.
could be both.
Point fingers. No,
Could
it's
be
not
both.
me, it's you.
Exactly.
Yep. Point the finger.
I
It's
mean,
got
I
the
guess
Spider-Man action going on.
yeah, all we can do is just wait up for the next update, and hopefully it'll fix it. But it's like,
Yeah.
We'll
So
see.
so here there
Oh.
is a fix that one of the guys that I watch and also somebody else that
It's too
actually
much.
Dragon said it too. Delete your OBS, uninstall it, reinstall it. And I watched him stream today and he has not dropped frames, had not restarted stream. It has worked smooth. I'm talking about
Temporary
6 hours
fix.
smooth.
That's not a fix. You just
It's
reset
a
the
fix.
counter.
It's a
You
fix for
you
us.
that's not a
It's a fix
fix.
for us.
You backed up
IT
your car so
101.
you could
Did
watch the damn
you
odometer ride over again. That's what the
right?
fuck you just did.
we're not at 1,000 miles. We're now at 100 miles.
Exactly. Right.
Speaking of what I said, Spider-Man moment. Did y'all see Spider-Verse Into Spider-Verse 2 got pushed back to 2023? They officially gave the name for the third part of Spider-Verse.
Act surprised.
Right, right. And then I think they showed off 15 minutes of the intro footage to at CinemaCon, and also at CinemaCon they showed off Black Panther 2 footage as well.
Ooh.
But did
So
you guys know there was actual footage of Chadwick Boseman? Someone asked him in an interview, it's like, what can we expect in Black Panther 2? And he looked dead in the camera, was like, I'm dead. And she was like, no, we don't
oh
think you're dead. He was like, but I'm dead.
Hmm.
wow.
This is real shit. Like
What
I saw it with
is
my
that?
eyes, and I was
Is
like,
that
bro.
like shit
Serious
happens, or
shit.
did he expect something?
I think
Probably
he.
some of both.
I don't know if he knew. I don't know if it had anything to do with him health wise, but he knew the storyline. And he knew he was gonna be fucking dead.
Hmm.
Well, and apparently he knew he was sick for a while. Anyways, I think he knew
Yeah.
he was sick before Black Panther. He got the Black
Yeah,
Panther
his
role.
last two movies
Yeah.
that he did, he knew he was sick.
So maybe it's a little bit of both. That's sad, man. Sad.
Yeah.
And
Eerie. Eerie as
can
shit.
Yeah.
continue
Sounds
on
fake.
the
For sure.
train of fucking up too. Netflix. Yeah,
We don't know what's gonna happen.
we don't. We
We don't know
don't.
what's
We
gonna
do,
happen.
but we
They
don't.
Netflix has got their hands so in the waters. They did not meet
Are you
their
still watching?
right.
Netflix is lashing
If you
out.
keep on, you won't. Right. They are very
Netflix is
much less.
lashing out. When you start bleeding more money or you start not making your goals, what's the first thing you try to do? Well, how can we get more money our out of our consumer base?
Yeah.
And not realizing the reason they
We
lost
punish them.
subscribers. The reason they
Punish
lost
them.
subscribers in the first place was the practices that you implemented. You jacked up your prices on some things, and then what did they start doing? Start pulling content and made it harder for you to watch things based on the area that you're in, and
It's
you
not even
pissed
that.
people
It's just
off.
like so I don't think companies realize there's only so much reach you can have. Your ability to reach is finite. And at some point in time, your progression is going to slow down.
So
And they don't realistically take the time to sit here and be like, okay, well, you know, maybe this actually might start slowing down. It's like, no, we're fine. We're fine. We're gonna get more reach. We're gonna get more reach. No, at some point in time, you're not. And at some
Milk the
point in time,
cow
your
till it's
consumer base is
dead.
smarter than you give them credit for. Right?
Yep.
so
Like,
what happened was they last year their projection was like they're gonna have 2 million something new users, right? And I think they missed that mark by a million something. So their excuse is COVID, and a bunch of content
Password
that they put
sharing.
up,
Hmm.
and people are password sharing on multiple accounts. That's what they're seemingly looking to go after.
Excuses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now legally, if you put out a report and you miss your mark by that much, investors can sue their own company that they're invested in
mhm,
to make up that promised money or their losses. And it's
mhm.
like you're better off doing it than not because then you're out of money. And that's just the practice. So I guess they're like they're appealing to their shareholders, and like you're right. After a certain point, like there's how many billion people in 52 billion? Is that right? Am I wrong about that?
There's
I don't
like
know.
7 billion people in the world.
Yeah, 7 billion, and like if you have 6 billion signups, that's what's your
Right.
reach really gonna go out to?
Right.
But also,
Exactly.
if you don't make progress on your reports every year, you're gonna lose investors, and investors have grounds to sue because they don't see money going up.
Right.
So
Some
and
people got
yeah,
a life pro tip. Just because progress is progress, just because you didn't reach a level that you attained for, does not mean you're not still making progress.
It's
It's
true, but
just you go in
investors don't see it
waves.
that way.
Right,
Investors are all
right.
about how do I increase my dollar? And if
it,
you're not increasing my dollar, then you're wasting my time and my
Netflix like,
money.
oh, I'm in first place. What? We came in second. This is an abomination. Tear it all down. It's like, no, you
But think
just
about it. It's the same thing that happened with WWE. They hired different investors and they're looking at it and they're like, we're not making we're not making a profit that we thought we was gonna make. Fire everybody. Burn
Pull
down
your
the strip.
house. Right. And it's
Happens,
stupid.
bro. It's just like
So,
Um,
when you're the corner when you have a corner on the market, you can charge what you want. But when you have someone else come in and take even a small bit of your market share, it's possible that you're not going to be making as much, even if you're still making more than you were, but you're not making what you projected. That's why projections are fucking stupid. And I get projections are going to be based off of your investors, and you got to do what you got to do. I get that, but at the same time, like this is why you get to the point where you own your own shit.
yeah.
I, I don't know if no one's really talked to them. If they implement that password chain program, I don't think they realize people are not going to sign up. Like the people that they're going to lose, that's just going to be
So
dead profit.
They're just
But
gonna they're just gonna lose them.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the way it works right now is me personally, I have a family plan, right? That I can have multiple
Certain amount
device
of people
actives
log
at
in.
once, right?
right.
So I use that. I share it with two of my friends. I get Crunchyroll and I get Disney Plus and I get HBO from them.
Right,
And
right.
I haven't watched anything on Netflix in maybe a year and a half.
There's not a lot of stuff to watch on Netflix. So
Yeah,
honestly,
I've
if
already
that's the route they
watched
want to
everything.
go,
So
if that's the route they go, and unless they start putting out more original content, which honestly has been the stuff that I probably watched the most.
yeah.
And if you
Like, well,
notice,
it depends because there's really only two movies I watch on Netflix religiously. It the harder they fall and Django. It's the only two fucking movies I watch religiously. Anything else, I'd be happy. I'd be it's more
and
just background noise while I'm going to sleep.
something that they started doing, usually when a good show or movie that comes out on Netflix they want to watch, they subscribe, they watch it, then they unsubscribe after that month. Now what Netflix is doing, you can see it with Stranger Things, they're starting to do it with other shows too. That's why they come out with part one and part two, and part one comes out 4 months after part, because they're trying to get you to stay in and stay
Well,
subscribed.
that's also like that's been Disney's tactic. They release
Hmm.
weekly episodes so you stay subscribed for longer. You're not just
Hmm.
binging and dipping.
Hmm.
And like yeah, it's the old TV model. You release one at a time, so you're watching every week, and you can know when to put these ads in front of people, and you get the advertising money. But if again, I haven't been really using my Netflix, but my friends have, and I get their
Mhm.
Crunchyroll and all that shit. If it implements where I can't share with them anymore, there's no reason for me to be paying that family plan.
Right.
Facts.
They
Right.
are losing me. I'm gone.
And then they
Exactly.
and then
They're
their
gonna lose a
counter
lot more if that's what they implement.
Yeah, and then they think, oh, well, our counter to that will introduce a very low price option that includes ads. And it's like, I don't think that's what people want. You're not gonna get people in with that. Yeah, you say you could charge $8 and include ads. Look at Hulu, for instance. Not many people pay for the lowest option on that plan. We talked about earlier, a lot of people do not like ads.
I
I
Yeah,
don't
mean,
think that's the answer.
I get
I ain't,
Hulu
I
on my
ain't, I
phone
ain't
plan.
paying. I'm not worried about ad-free content on Hulu, for being honest.
Yeah. Uh,
The ads really aren't that prevalent, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that pay the $8 on Hulu. I love it. I mean, I'm not paying extra. I don't care about them ads.
No,
I get up and go do something if it's really that bad. It's like 30
like 30
seconds.
second ads. I ain't worried about the
What?
shit, but I tell you this much: there's not that much great stuff on Netflix to worry about for me to want ads.
that we already haven't seen.
Yeah, we
Netflix
haven't already
has
seen.
a good library,
They have a good
but I'm
library
not
for
the
it to be
person
ad
to.
free.
Yeah, I'm not the person to be rewatching. Like that's
Right.
just
And our next topic, we all know and love Sega. Too bad they've been driving themselves into the ground and over the past, I don't know, how 10, 12, 15 years. I
it,
mean,
it's just lackluster performance after lackluster.
right. And so I guess somebody finally said, all right, that's enough, guys. We got to do something to bring people back. What can we do? And some genius employee had the idea, why don't we remake and bring back Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio? Everybody
Before you
started.
say anything, Dre, before you say anything, Sega, the only game the masses really want is Sonic Generations.
Yeah, that was the last good Sonic game, right?
Just being real with you. That's
Yeah.
that's if you make that, they'll come. If you
If you
put
build it,
you
they will.
put if you put that on next gen, they will come.
They had a great idea. Somebody said, "Bring back Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio." They say it's great, but then, of course, they made it worse. Let's make it free to play and add in microtransactions. It's like,
I'm actually pretty okay with that.
But how you explain it? I can see that working for Jet Set Radio. Make it multiplayer. You know, it's a colorful, vibrant game. I could see that easily being free to play. Add microtransaction for different like skates and clothing and stuff for your avatar, and add in different stuff like that. That's easy. Explain how you would do it for Crazy Taxi. Boom.
It's kind of
How
the
would
same
you?
thing. I mean, think of it like this, you so first of all, if you make it multiplayer, that's pretty freaking cool, right? You got to beat out somebody else to that fair, and then someone can like steal your fare in the middle of you like getting there and stuff like that'd be pretty cool, right? So
Yep.
multiplayer works, and if you think about it in a sense of ads, think of oh you've got a money Mountain Dew fare that you've got to get, and it's worth like bonus whatever, right? And you got to get to the money Mountain Dew fare, and he got his big ass green arrows pointing at him and shit, and you got to go pick him up, and the whole time you're shedding out how much money you get to hold on to until you get him to where he needs to go, right? You can do shit like that. It's fucking easy, and then like if you win, you get
Billboard
different
arrows.
skins and stuff like that. It's super super easy to implement on top of a game like Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi is a cool game. I think there are definitely ways you can pull in. You can remake the game. You can pull in a multiplayer element to it, and it actually be viable.
Your clan of taxis. Hey, they
Especially
don't
when you
got
think about
turf.
how it used to be an arcade game. Arcade games always make
Ram
great
them off the
multiplayer
road.
games,
Yeah.
right?
Hey, Seika, y'all better hire this man right now. Hire that man. He just gave y'all all the ideas y'all needed. You better hire
You're
that
welcome.
man.
You're welcome. Okay. You know what?
Mhm.
And side note, because I'm gonna let you guys get back to it, but you know what arcade game they need to put back on PS5 and new Xbox?
So-
What?
Time Crisis.
Oh,
It needs to be a
man.
VR game. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not a VR game. It
That
doesn't
makes
make any
perfect
sense.
sense.
Sony, are you listening, Sony? With your
Time
PSVR 2?
Crisis
Do it.
VR.
Oh,
Coolly.
God damn. No, that
oh,
is,
man.
as soon as I heard about VR, like along whenever the HTC
Yeah,
Vive came out, I was like, Time Crisis. Then the
Yeah.
next VR system
Nice.
came out, Time Crisis. PSVR came out, Time Crisis. Where is it? Where's Time Crisis? What are you doing? What are
Who
you
owns
doing
it?
with your
Is
life?
it
They
Konami?
might not have the rights to it, depending on what
Is it
studio made it.
Konami
They
or
might,
Capcom?
probably
Namco makes it.
Konami.
Namco.
Namco. Yeah, that
Oh,
makes sense.
wow. I mean, you could easily copy it. And you even got to call it Time Crisis. Call it. What's
I mean,
another
they
name for
probably have the source
time?
code sitting somewhere. They probably just don't want to. They're not worried about that.
It's
Oh
just
god,
You know,
it's
Namco's
time
weird.
problems. The game.
Silent Scope, Time Crisis. Just I love
Right.
Time Crisis so
House of the
much.
Time
Dead.
I had
All
the
those
Crisis
I had the
games.
light
is
gun.
good.
I had my
Mhm.
brother next to me. A CRT TV.
I could easily see that a four player House of the Dead or Time Crisis all on VR.
Time Crisis
That
is
oh
amazing.
They
man,
just
that would be
they
great.
just released House of the Dead for the Switch, but there's no like Joy-Con type things. It's all usually analog sticks, and it has
First
the
of all,
cursor. Yeah, I don't.
wrong audience, wrong console.
Yeah, you ever play Time Crisis with a controller?
It's
That's what it
terrible.
is.
It's
Now,
terrible.
if it gets the speculation is if it gets a PC release, because right now it's just on one thing, right? And it'll come out to other stuff later on. If it gets a PC release, that's when we'll have the motion controls and all that stuff, and we can put onto it.
So whoever put House of the Dead on the Switch and thought that it was a good idea, they need to be punched in the face. And
No,
you know who
but
else got punched in the face? The
oh,
guy on a plane that pissed off Mike Tyson.
good segue. Good segue. Oh,
You
So
deserve every bit of that.
if y'all didn't know, there's a guy on a plane antagonizing Mike Tyson. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, or maybe he was looking for a payday, but he earned every piece of it because he got socked in the face by Mike Tyson. And as you can imagine, it did not end well for him.
yeah. I mean,
It-
the video you saw was his buddy across the aisle taking a video of him after the fact, and he's like, "Yo, Mike Tyson just assaulted this guy for no reason," and the guy looks over him like this with a really sad face with blood on his face, like, "I don't know what happened." and then you get word from all the other passengers that this guy was leaning into him, antagonizing him, calling him bullshit names, saying, "Oh, I'm just a
Racial
fan. I
slurs
just
and
wanted
all.
this. Why don't you give me this?" And then he started kicking
Mike
his
got fed up.
chair. Mm, you stupid. You stupid.
It's like
Hit
taking
him,
a
but it was
stick.
high on shrooms, and he just started going ham.
It's like
Yeah.
Nice
taking
little.
a stick and going to go poke a bear and not expect him to hit you back. Like why? Why?
I don't know. That's
But it's all goes to point. Do you think there needs to be protections for not just celebrities, but public figures or famous figures where people try to antagonize them on purpose to get a payout? Do you think there should be special protections put in place?
yeah.
Yeah.
The whole paparazzi shit is disgusting. To begin with. Um, I hear like horror stories of these guys antagonizing or breaking into their house just to get pictures or to find stuff for theirs. And it's like I'm not I grew up religious. I grew up a Muslim and then when my dad left I was a Catholic. But I'm not really religious right now. I just you ever see the old Moses video? Old Moses with what's his name? He also did other religious movies, Planet of the Apes. What was
Yeah,
his
I
what
can't
was
think of
his
his name. I
name?
know you're talking about.
But it's an old one. It comes on during Christmas. And I think back to that scene where Moses is in the desert with his people. He goes to get the commandments and he leaves his people alone to go climb the mountain. And when he comes back, there's this big golden idol that everybody's worshiping. And he's like, "Bro, I just freed you from idol worshiping and now you're doing the same thing. I'm gonna bust your ass," right? I I always get that picture in my mind when I see celebrities getting harassed. Like they're people. They're not idols and you're treating them like the golden idol. Like again, I'm not religious, but it's there's
Same
something to
concept.
learn from it, you know?
Hmm.
Like you
They're
shouldn't put
own
these
people
people
just
on a
like you.
pedestal. Yeah. And it's like they get like yeah, they make billions of dollars, make millions and billions of dollars, but like chill. You don't need to be up their ass for an autograph.
Just
That
gotta
that
chill
yeah,
out.
that's my rant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like two other famous individuals they're going at each other's throats right now. You got Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and it's like these are noble people at the end of the day, y'all. Just because they're famous does not change problems. Everybody has problems. Everybody has problems.
Yeah,
Learn to identify and address your problems and don't put them out in the public. Otherwise, you have what's going on with them.
that shit's rough because
Hmm.
I went through that. Like my family went through that with a specific family member, and it's you know it's just history. It's just I see it, think of my past, and I just feel for Johnny Depp. But
It's
rough,
nasty. Yeah.
rough.
Two, they both have done wrong, and it doesn't make it right. But it's like you only see one person. Well, early on, you only saw one person getting dragged through the mud. Now that they're in court, you're seeing the other side of things down. It's like, oh, but doesn't make up for the both wrongs that they both committed. And it's like, I don't know how you do it, but I hope this goes just to teach a lesson. People wait for the facts and wait. There's like what's the saying? There's always sides to a story.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
your side, their side, and the truth.
yeah,
Wait for that and stop judging people right off the rip when you hear certain things. I mean, goes back to like you said, harassing people, athletes. How many times do people go on Twitter and just start harassing athletes? Oh, you suck. You couldn't get out the first round. This and that. It's like these are people too. That you gotta watch what you do when you go and trying to tear somebody down. That is their job. Yeah, they get paid a lot of money to do these things, but you gotta realize they were all just people. We're all
yeah.
built the same, work the same. We just got different jobs and different functions. But you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful, man.
And I don't want to
Gotta
sound
be
too
careful.
preachy, cause like I'm also guilty of doing the same thing. We've
We all
made
are.
we've made entertainment out of like other people's problems.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People have been too comfortable with having access to people's lives to the point where they feel entitled to have opinions
Yeah.
without context
And
in
there's always a
situations that
line.
we shouldn't even have opinions about. Like, this is someone's personal life.
Mhm.
And because we live in a digital age, we have such an unsolicited access to this person's life. And we forget that if it was us in that situation, we'd want our privacy.
Dude,
And not to
Yep.
forget there's so many details that we don't see.
Mhm.
like
Yep.
so much of his shit came out. Like he's dragged through the mud. And he may be like up on top now. We see it now that, she was manipulating the facts. He still had his life thrown out on the lawn for everybody to see.
And can't
And
get
it's
it back.
like he may come out on top of this, but he ain't never getting his privacy.
Or image. That's it's tarnished forever.
So,
We lost. God dang. What's
and you
his
know what?
name?
I, even like, all right, I know we all have opinions, we all, but the verdict has not been passed
Right.
yet.
Right. We lost Captain Jack Sparrow because of you. It's like no. No, just kidding. But yeah, it's just we go out the positive note, people. Just be nice to each other. You can have your fun, but there's clearly always a line. Don't cross the line. Don't be that person. Just don't cross the line.
It's
Don't cross the line.
pointless.
Yep, and it's too easy with technology nowadays. So
Yeah.
I understand it takes a lot to hold back. It's like,
Blurred lines.
oh yeah, don't say
Yeah, I
that.
know. Funny.
So many people got in trouble for that song.
Oh gosh. But yeah, got any other things y'all want to say before we hit on out? Last hits, last messages,
Closing statements.
closing statements. Come on.
Um, even though I talk shit, Beat Saber for VR. I'm hopeful in my weight loss journeys for first time in a while. So I would recommend it.
I want to try it out myself if I ever get one. What about you, Dre? Close statements.
Uh,
Now that you stop eating.
I need more information of this Marvel MMO and this Beyond Good and Evil. I need more information.
All
I
right.
need
Well,
dates.
Was Beyond Good and
next
Evil supposed to come
episode.
out already?
Oh man, it's been like 10 years. But the good news, they
Like,
did say it is still alive and on track. So Jerry, we're gonna task you with bringing us some facts about those two next episode.
some dates.
Boo, you got anything for us?
One of these days, I'm going to play Tiny Tina's. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be amazing. That's one. Two, let's not forget about Harry Potter.
Mm,
Oh yeah,
That
that is.
game
Looking good.
looks absolutely amazing.
yes.
And I am so very intrigued, but I'm not pre ordering that bitch.
Anticipation, like you said,
I
anticipation.
refuse, but I'm intrigued. They have my attention.
Oh wait,
Three,
didn't we find something now about Harry Potter?
I
they
don't know
they
what the
they
fuck
released
about
some
Harry Potter.
gameplay.
They did
No,
release
it's a
gameplay. I
lie.
watched it.
It's a lie. It's a
Oh yeah.
stolen story.
What?
JK stole the story.
Are you serious?
It's just remember, it's just Star Wars retold.
Oh, yeah, it is. But
We'll
it's
talk
okay.
about
I'm
that
okay
next
with that.
episode because I can go
I'm
deep
Yeah.
okay
into
with
that.
that. I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll fill
perfectly
y'all
okay
in
with
on
that.
on the next
Snarf, it's gonna blow your
episode.
mind, Snarf. It's gonna blow your
Okay.
mind. We'll
Okay.
talk about it
Okay.
after this. It's gonna blow your mind.
So
Three, Sega. Sega. One, hit me up. All right, put me on payroll. I got ideas. Okay.
Yeah.
Two, even if you don't want to release to the masses, just give me Sonic Generations on PS5. Just do that. Just do that. Just do it. Just do it.
You didn't
Okay?
got to pay him for his ideas if you just give him Sonic Generations
No,
or
no, no,
PS5,
no, no,
Severus the
no, no,
Spade. Oh
no,
no.
no, no. They gotta pay me for my ideas. They gotta pay me for my ideas. Okay? They gotta
Oh
do that
man.
shit.
Don't.
But no, yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got.
All
That's all I got.
right,
Did y'all
y'all.
forget? Y'all forgot
Forgot what?
the two most electrifying streamers on Twitch are streaming. Boom Pow Surprise and Legend of Dre. Gotta follow him.
That's right. That's right.
Gotta follow him.
What?
Gotta
What?
follow him. What?
Go ahead and do your plug, Dre. Go ahead and do your plug.
Yeah, you can catch me on Twitch, Legend of Dre, doing all wrestling content, some Destiny content, but main focus, wrestling. We are doing a live draft coming up soon. Created characters, live universe. Come, come see the champs, man. Get your butt whooped.
I'm just saying. He put it was Dre and Boom versus
Yeah,
my
we gonna talk about it next
character and
episode.
Griff.
We can talk about it next episode. We can talk about how y'all got your ass
It
beat
was
next
fucking
episode. We can
hype.
talk about it.
What do you mean? What do you mean we got our ass beats?
Y'all got y'all
No.
ass beat.
We won
And
first, okay?
no,
We
no,
won
no. Y'all
first.
won the fatal 4-way. All right, the 2v2, which really mattered. Y'all
No,
versus
no,
the
no, 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 no,
generation.
no, no.
Y'all
Don't you
lost.
you
It was
cannot say
rigged.
that was a
It
win.
was rigged.
My
It was
character
rigged.
was paid off. All right?
He
Your
was.
character got his ass beat.
No,
He got
he
paid
was
off,
paid
and I
He got
got
his
off.
ass
All
beat
stomped.
right.
senseless. You know how many times I
We'll talk
fucking
about it next
dropped you
time.
and
Talk
now
about
off
it
my
next time.
shoulders? Yeah,
Next
we'll talk about the episode next episode. You guys, feel free to follow me on Boom Pow Surprise on Twitch. You guys can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on YouTube, IG, Hover. Come check me out. We got content, we got streams. I'm a Destiny 2 main streamer. I am an inspirational speaker, a variety streamer, an ASMR enthusiast, and I'm also a content creator. So yeah, come check me out. We always have a good time on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. We have good times. And some pop-up streams throughout the week. So yeah, follow me. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Tune in with us next episode. We're gonna go over this legendary match that we had.
Greatest match of all
Also,
time.
tune in to us to find out the truth about how J.K. Rowling stole the Harry Potter story from Star Wars and more things.
And
So
more
we will
things.
see y'all. We will see y'all. Thank you for joining us. Y'all have a great week. We out.
Cheryl.